I get older, I'm realizing more and more frequently how quickly time passes. It's always something I've been aware of, but now, when the new year hits, it makes things like growth, progress, loss, and change feel all the more real. Especially now that I've been making YouTube videos for a year, I can actually go back and watch how things have changed over time. It's like I have a visual journal documenting different parts of this year. That's why I want to make this video, to highlight 19 things I've learned in 2019. Some of these things are silly and some are more serious, but all are valuable lessons that help me grow, and that will hopefully help you grow too if you can take and reapply them to your life. So let's begin. This may be one of the simplest things I've done this year that's made a huge change in my day. Going for a walk, especially in the morning, makes me ground myself, pun intended. It makes my head be in the right state of mind to take on the day. I love taking a walk in the morning, but sometimes just getting outside for 10 minutes after a rough day can be enough to clear my head. This next lesson has been a hard one for me to learn. All throughout my teaching career, I feel like I've so strongly identified myself as being a teacher. In that identity, I've had a hard time balancing my professional and personal life and mentally clocking out the end of the day. I love my job and I'm proud of what I do, but it is a tough job. I used to give 110% of my time, energy, and headspace, but I found out at the beginning of the school year that there's a healthier way to be a professional. This year, and really every single year I've been a professional, I've always been super stressed out with work. I eat, sleep, live, breathe teaching. It's not healthy to eat, sleep, and breathe what you do, at least not in my opinion. The way I learned this lesson is actually from my father. So at the beginning of the school year, I lost my grandfather, and I was just really stressed out one day. I was just like numb. I can't even explain it. I was just talking about what a hard time I was having, and my dad was like, you know what, Ashlyn, at the nursing home today, the workers there, they have loved and worked with your grandfather for years. And when he passed, they came in and they were crying and they were comforting my family. And he said, but you know what? They're gonna go home to their families and they're going to sleep tonight because they have a life outside of their job. And I was just like, whoa, that hit me. Because like it's a whole life and death scenario. And there are people who work in professions where people actually die in front of them and they go back home to their families and they keep having a life. And so I was like, I deserve to have a life too. And my job, like no one's dying, it's not that severe. And it should not be getting in the way of me having a personal life. So now when I feel myself getting really stressed out at work, I just tell myself this is not that big of a deal. It's just work. It's not my family, it's not my friends, it's not my health. I can punch out, and I do, and that helps me leave work at school and have a life outside of it. This next lesson is much more lighthearted, but subscribing to a razor delivery service has saved me on more than one occasion. Your girl would forget to buy razors at the store and be like on the last leg of a disposable razor, like come on, literally the last leg, no pun intended. But I would be at a loss because I had no more razors and mine was not doing too healthy. It's great, I will link that down below because that razor subscription box has been a game changer. Not even exaggerating, I love it. Next topic also has to do with a product I'm very happy I purchased this year. Have grown to love vests. I'd never worn them before this year, and I got one at Salvation Army and was like, whoa, this is so convenient. I'm neither too hot nor too cold, and I have my arms that can move around, do whatever you know you might want to do with your arms during the day. So anyways, I have purchased quite a few vests. I have a green vest, a dusty pink vest, a maroon vest, and I have a black vest in the wash. I have just gone crazy. They have changed my life for the better in 2019. Buy yourself a vest. You're welcome. Number 4. Yeah, it's 4. Fanny packs. I have become such a fanny pack guru. They are perfect for traveling. You can have everything right on your hip. I use them for running. I have one in black. I have one in white. They are the most convenient thing I have purchased in 2019. Very close to a vest, slightly better though. Fanny packs, get on that level. 5, this one is more of a serious note, like number 2, but I've learned a lot more about how to advocate for myself in 2019. I feel like back in college I was pretty good at this, and I got into the workforce and I kind of calmed down a bit, and I've had some things happen in my life this past year where I had to stand up for myself, and I have learned how to do that this year. Number 6, I have learned how to not only budget but make an expense report. So in college I was super strict with my budget. Like, I knew how much money I was going to spend every single week. Like, sometimes I don't even afford avocados. They were too luxurious for me. I was on a very strict budget, and I got an adult job, and I started making more money, and I was like, let's go to TJ Maxx every single weekend. So I wanted to make sure I was using my money in the best way possible so that I would have more of it to spend on things I really wanted. So every single month, sometimes twice a month, I go through every single dollar I spend and I track it. And before the month happens, I sit down and I plan out the things I want to spend my money on, the things I have to spend my money on, and I allocate funds from how much I'm going to make. And this has helped me save so much more money just doing it for the past few months. It's been a game changer. 7, I have spent more time this year trying to sit and just talk to people. I know that it can get very easy to be so go, go, go. You have to do this, that, and everything else in the world. But it's so important to be able to just sit down, have a conversation with people. Those are the memories that you keep for forever. So I've been making an active attempt to sit down, talk to people, call people more on the phone, FaceTime people, just make those connections and show people that you care. So that's another thing I've been doing in 2019 that I've loved. Number 8, These hair ties, I don't know why I just hopped on this bandwagon in 2019, but they are so great. They don't leave dents in your hair, they don't leave dents on your wrist. They're just so nice. When I think back on times in my life that I've truly enjoyed the stage I was at, most of those times were when I knew that stage was coming to an end. I'm thinking about my senior year of high school, my last couple of months in on-campus housing, and the long-term sub job I held. I think one of the things that made me view these stages of my life through such a precious lens is the fact that I knew they were temporary. Really though, nothing in life is guaranteed. I've started living with that thought in mind, and I've really been trying to appreciate every single day, even Mondays. Carpe diem. Number 10, starting a YouTube channel and being pretty consistent with uploading. I know I haven't been the most consistent, it's not like an every week thing, but I've been trying, and I just love going back through and looking at the videos that I made throughout the year. It legit brings me so much happiness just rewatching my travel memories or when I was hanging out with a friend. It's like a video diary, and I am so glad I decided to put myself out there and make these videos. It's been one of my favorite things of this year. Shameless plug. Boop, boop, boop. Number 11, meal prepping, but making extra meals and then freezing those meals. For example, I make this broccoli, rice, vegan cheese, chicken bake thing, and I would make like 12 servings, like pounds of this rice and chicken stuff, and I put a bunch of those meals in freezer bags, date them, seal them, and stick them in the freezer. And it's so convenient getting home from work, having nothing made, and just pulling one out, heating up and eating dinner in 5 minutes. It has been so great. So I suggest making meals in bulk, freezing them, and then taking them out at a later date and eating them then. Also, I used to get very stressed out on Sundays making all of my food. For the weekend, it felt like I was losing a whole weekend day because I was so busy meal prepping. Being able to freeze my food has helped me not spend so much time on Sunday cooking. And instead, I do it throughout the week, and I feel like I have more of a weekend. Number 12, navigating public transportation. I have grown up in the country, and I've lived in the country for most of my life, and so I've never had to become familiar with public transportation. But throughout traveling this past year and going to New York City and Boston more frequently this year, I've become more comfortable using public transportation. It is so efficient, it is cost effective, and it's also better for the environment too. And I also feel kind of confident being able to navigate the local transportation. So that's a lesson I've learned this year, is to figure out public transportation. It will save you time, money, and some hassle too with trying to find parking spaces. 14, color coding. You may have noticed, but I'm a bit of a nerd. And I'm a little bit OCD, just a tiny bit. So color coding has been one of my favorite things. Color coding's been very convenient for me. And especially at the beginning of the school year, I feel like September can be a really hard month for teachers. In October, like everything's just hitting you from all directions. And so what I started to do to make myself feel like I wasn't getting overwhelmed by the days is color code each section. So if you teach 5 subjects in a day or 4 different classes or whatever, I would color code those classes. So if class went well, green. If it was okay, yellow. If I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Red. And I feel like doing that made me not dwell on negative things, because I feel like I'm the type of person who, if one thing goes wrong, that's all I remember throughout my day. not like the 80 things that went well. And so if I broke my day into categories by color, it helped me focus on all of the good things that happened. 90% of my day was great, so I'm going to focus on that 90%. And that has helped me be more positive throughout the entire school year so far. I feel so much more at peace and at ease and calm and happy just from focusing on the positives. So if you're struggling with your job, maybe try something like that might help you out a lot. Saying a morning prayer. I consider myself to be a pretty spiritual person, and I've been trying to get more involved in praying every single morning, and I've been doing that more lately. And it's been a game changer for me too. I feel like it helps me reset myself, get ready for the day, think positively, go in with a good spirit, a good mindset, and it's like 1 minute. So that's made a big change for me in 2019, saying those morning prayers. This next item is also not sponsored, it's just another product I like. Setting spray. I'm probably so late getting onto this bandwagon, but I just started using it in 2019, and oh my gosh, I should have been on this bandwagon many years ago. It keeps all your makeup in place, nothing runs, it's just lovely. Get yourself some setting spray. The 18th thing I've learned is to change how I do my daily to-do list. So this is my plan book. My friend Deshauna actually made it for me. She makes planners, so I will link her website down below too. This planner is one of my favorite things. But when I plan out my week, I do it every single Sunday. I write down everything I want to accomplish that week. And what I used to do at school is have like one weekly to-do list where I just keep adding things and the list would never actually be completed. And being as anal as I am, that really stressed me out. So what I've been doing is breaking my days and my tasks into manageable chunks. So instead of saying I'm going to do 12 things this week, I'm saying I'm going to do 3 things on Monday, 3 things on Tuesday, 4 things on Wednesday, and it helps me feel successful every single day. So let me show you an example. This is an example page in my plan book. So I write down tasks all throughout the week, and I try to break it up too, so it's not like all of the heavy duty tasks on Monday. I try to spread it out. And I also put some really small tasks in there too. So for example, cleaning my bedroom, I never clean my bedroom all in one day. What I do is I break it into increments. So on Monday, I'll clean my bedroom for 2 songs. On Tuesday, I'll Windex the windows. On Wednesday, I'll sweep the floor. And that way it makes it seem a lot less daunting, and I'll be more inclined to do it as opposed to being like, oh my gosh, I have to go do this now for an hour. Because I'm not going to want to do it. So breaking my week apart into tasks has helped me be more productive. Not even kidding, like probably 100%. I'm doing so much more now, and I feel more successful at the end of the day, which is also really important. I've always known I have a strong case of the travel bug. Exploring a new place makes me feel so alive. In 2019, I've explored many places, some familiar and some brand new. In all of these journeys, I've started to pinpoint why I love traveling so much. I love seeing how other people live, building empathy. I love feeling small, feeling anonymous. I love knowing that our world is so big and so grand, and that I'm fortunate enough to live in it. Travel has taught me to leap out of my comfort zone, to be patient, to be flexible, and to be present. I can't wait to see where 2020 brings me.